Hi guys, I am Saurabh from idleprogrammer.tv, and in this video tutorial I'll show you how you can create your own Windows 7 logon screen changer or logon studio clone using Visual Basic 2008, or you can use any other version of VB.NET like VB.NET 2003, 2005, 2008 and 2010. But remember, you can't do this with while using VB6 or VB6. So, because just remember that the code I type in this program will not work on VB6 and is not compatible with Visual Basic 6.0. So, first thing you need to learn is how you can do this process manually, that is changing the Windows 7 login screen manually. So before you look at these steps, I would like to tell you that there are two ways of changing Windows 7 login screen. The first way is the default way, where the Windows 7 login screen is located the file, which is C Windows System32 and imageres.dll. So this is the file which is protected by the Windows 7 OS, and with a couple of tweaks you can just replace, delete or this file, but it usually causes errors because the file is open elsewhere and we don't know where it is open. So this method can cause you problems, and if you are installing third-party softwares like Logon Studio, please be alert that these softwares can damage your PC, and the method I am telling you is the most safest method, because if it fails you can still see your login screen, because if the method fails it will just go back to the default way of changing login screen, that is the login screen file which is located under C Windows System32 imageres.dll. I also made a backup of this file in my C, as you can see here, imageres.dll, which is Windows image resource file. It is a very large file, like this is 19.1 MB. So as I told you, this is the safest way. Now let's look at the steps we have to do while changing the login screen. The first step is go to the Windows registry editor, that is type into the run command reg edit and open the registry editor. Locate the following registry key. Let's do it. Reg edit. Now let's locate the following key, that is HKey local machine software Microsoft Windows, our current version, and authentication. So, and just click on the log on user ID and you will see. Now we need to expand this also. Just go to background and there is your registry key that you have to edit. Now change its value to 1. Now by default it is set to 0, which means that the way of changing the login screen is to modify the original Windows image resource file, that is imageres.dll, that I told you earlier. But since it can be dangerous, this is a new alternative way which Microsoft Windows has introduced for the developers and the users, so that they can change and customize the look of your Windows. Now I'll just set it to 1 so that it changes to that way. And now after you have done this, you don't need to restart your Windows. You just can log off, or you can just switch user for the changes, and that is also not required, because first of all you need to complete all the steps before you can see the new login screen. If you don't, you will still see that default login screen. So the next step is go to the folder C or your directory where you have installed the Windows slash system32 slash oope info slash backgrounds. So I'll just repeat the steps again. Go to C, Windows System32 OOPE info backgrounds folder, and now you need to create a new image file named as background default.jpg. It should be a JPG file and less than 256 KB. So these are the restrictions set by Microsoft Windows. The file should be strictly less than 256 KB. If it exceeds the file size limit, you will not see your new login screen. Instead, you will see the default login screen, which is inside C Windows System32 image res.dll. So, but we need to change the login screen. So you have to find the image which is less than JPG image which is less than 256 KB, and just rename it as background default.jpg and save it is it is a basically good way of changing the login screen by using this method. But I was saying that you have to save this file inside C Windows System32 OOBE info and backgrounds folder. So when you save it, just switch user or log off or restart if you want, but it is not recommended and I don't suggest you to restart. Just log off to see your new login screen. So please note that images must be less than 256 KB in size. So in this website also this is written and it is important. So please be alert that the file should be less than 256 KB. And the alternative way of changing login screen is the modification of the original Windows image resource file, which is images.dll, which can cause you errors. So let's do this all these steps inside vb.net. And I also want to tell you that instead of making your own files, you can download the files from the internet website. You will get loads of images and tons of images. Then just change their format to JPG and see if the file size is less than 256 KB. You can set the image as your login screen. So now just open your vb.net 2008 window. We just need to declare imports microsoft.win32 statement above all our programs, that is under the declarations section of the code editor. Now if you don't include this line above your program and you just want to write all this code by yourself, like if you don't write this line imports.microsoft.win32 and you just type microsoft.win32.registry.setValue, it does the same thing. But since you need to change the login screen only once time or once, you can use this method. In fact, you can also use this method while you want to change your login screen or registry value 4 to 5 times. But since if we want to change the registry value say 50 times, we have to type this whole big line 50 times. So instead of that, we can just declare one line statement above our program, that is import microsoft.win32, and notice that win32 is a namespace and all the classes that follows or comes inside the win32 we can write all these classes that come inside the win32 namespace directly without specifying their parent namespace or class. So thanks for watching this video. I'll show you other steps in part 2 video.